The world keeps evolving. The times keep changing. The new generation of technology. The new generation of information. They bring the future before us. Institut Teknologi Sepuluh Nopember, a place where the spirit of heroism underlies the new generation to research and innovate in technology. The University of Heroes, ITS. ITS is one of the best science and technology universities in Indonesia, which was founded by Dr. Angga in 1957. In every step, ITS focuses in advancing education, research, management, and community service. As an incorporated public university, ITS has been able to manage autonomously the policy of academics, organizations, finance, students' affairs, human resources, facilities, operational, and infrastructure.
In the spirit of Indonesian heroes, during the battle in the 10th of November 1945, ITS always makes efforts to be the best in education, research, and community services, especially in the fields of industry and maritime. ITS also actively contributes to the nation development, and in the future, ITS will become an entrepreneurial university with world-class reputation.
ITS has many achievements. Both national and international achievements prove that ITS keeps growing and gives the best contribution to the nation of Indonesia. ITS is a place for new hopes to grow. An ideal environment for the new generation to flourish in 3 strategic locations within the industrial city of Surabaya. As a smart eco-campus, ITS maintains harmony between technological advances and the sustainability of the surrounding ecosystem. ITS has 7 faculties with prospective scientific fields, including Scientics, INSIS, Vocation, Creatives, Martech, Electrics, Plan. ITS is a space for the new generation who are hungry for knowledge because it provides a wide range of references in both physical and digital form. ITS makes it easier for the new generation to access information by providing flexible classes. ITS keeps moving forward in facing future challenges by providing the best facilities for the new generation's activities. The facilities support both spiritual and physical needs. ITS also provides research facilities in the ITS Science Technopark, including ICT and robotics, automotive, maritime, and creative industries. Therefore, the excellent generations from ITS will emerge and make history. ITS is a space for the new generation to express themselves. ITS is a place where the new generation learns new things and finds their purpose. ITS has become a place where the new generations that carry the future will be born.
ITS is a campus of science and technology, which focuses on the research and innovation, presenting technology for prosperity.
With a spirit of heroism, ITS brings the future before us. ITS, the University of Heroes.
wabarakatuh, and a very good afternoon to Yang Mulia Professor Datuk Technologist Dr. Ahmad Fauzi bin Ismail as the Chair Asia Technological University Network, Vice Chancellor Universiti Teknologi Malaysia, Yang Mulia Professor Dr. Dayang Hajah Zohra binti Haji Sulaiman, Vice Chancellor Universiti Teknologi Brunei, Yang Mulia Professor Dr. Mazlan Abdul Ghaffar, Vice Chancellor Universiti Malaysia Terengganu, Yang Mulia Profesor Dr. Insinyur Muhammad Ashari, Rektor Institut Teknologi Sepuluh Nopember Indonesia, distinguished keynote and workshop speakers, delegates of Asia Technological University Network, staff and students who are joining us today via Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube. Welcome to the fourth day of the International Staff Week 2021, hosted by Universiti Teknologi Brunei, UTB. To bless this afternoon's event, the recitation of Surah Al-Fatihah and Doa Selamat will be led by Yang Mulia Penyiaran Muhammad Nazri bin Penyiaran Haji Ahmad, Lecturer in Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Universiti Teknologi Brunei.
الفاتحة إلى حضرة النبي المصطفى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه الكرام. الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. آمين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم إنا نستحفظك ونستودعك ديننا وإيماننا وأنفسنا وأهلنا وأولادنا وذرياتنا والمسلمين وأموالنا وكل شيء أعطيتنا. اللهم اجعلنا وإياهم في كنفك وأمانك وجوارك وإياذك من كل شيطان مريد وجبار عنيد وذي أين وذي بعي ومن شر كل ذي شر إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم جملنا بالصحة والسلامة وحققنا بالتقوى والاستقامة وأعذنا من مجيبة الندامة في الحال والمال إنك مجيب الدعوات. اللهم إنا نسألك سلامة في الدين وعافية في الجسد وزيادة في العلم وبركة في الرزق وتوبة قبل الموت ورحمة عند الموت ومغفرة بعد الموت. اللهم هون علينا في سكرة الموت ونجاة من النار. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا ووالدينا ومشائخنا ووالديهم وإخواننا وأخواتنا ولمن أحسن إلينا والمؤمنين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اختم لنا بحسن الخاتمة ولا تختم علينا بسوء الخاتمة. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amin, amin, amin ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you Yang Mulia Penyiaran Muhammad Nazri. We hope everyone had enjoyed the workshop so far. So before we begin with today's workshop, we'd like to invite everyone to fly to Brunei Darussalam for a short getaway. Please enjoy the video.
Recording in progress.
We hope you enjoyed the video that we showed, showing Brunei's culture, heritage, and opportunity of Bruneians. Without further ado, we shall begin the workshop by respectfully inviting Yang Mulia Professor Dr. Dayang Hajah Zohra binti Haji Sulaiman, Vice Chancellor of Universiti Teknologi Brunei, to deliver her welcoming address.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wasahbihi ajma'in. Yang Mulia Profesor Datuk Teknologis Dr. Ahmad Fauzi bin Ismail, ATU-Net Chair and Vice Chancellor of Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. Yang Mulia Profesor Datuk Teknologis Dr. Wahid bin Razali, ATU-Net Deputy Chair and Vice Chancellor of Universiti Tun Hussein On Malaysia. Yang Mulia Profesor Dr. Insinyur Muhammad Ashari, Rector of Institut Teknologi Sepuluh Nopember, Indonesia. Yang Mulia Profesor Dr. Mazlan bin Abdul Ghaffar, Vice Chancellor of Universiti Malaysia Terengganu, Malaysia. Distinguished keynote workshop speakers, delegates of Asia Technological University Network, staff and students who are here with us today on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Zoom. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good afternoon. First and foremost, I'm pleased to welcome you to Day 4 of the ATU-Net International Staff Week 2021, which will focus on visibility and engagement. I would like to thank ATU-Net for the invitation and the opportunity given to Universiti Teknologi Brunei to present and share with others on how UTB has been coping and transitioning towards the new normal amid the COVID-19 pandemic, especially on how we have been managing the international agenda in this era of uncertainties. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is therefore up for me to mention the COVID-19, a viral pandemic which affects all the people around the world. Alhamdulillah, with the blessing of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala and the leadership of His Majesty the Sultan, Brunei has recorded more than 400 days without COVID-19 local infection case. It has not only driven us to be digital literate, innovative and creative in using technologies effectively, but it has broadened our perspective and promote new ways of thinking. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today's session will begin with a keynote address by Ms. Jennifer Woon Nyuk Hyung, Director of Industry Liaison Office UTB, who will be sharing the impact of industry collaboration to the university as well as best practices. It will then be followed by a workshop session conducted by Dayang Hajah Siti Asmalati Bolkini binti Haji Awang Ahmad, Director of International and Public Relations Office UTB, who will further share UTB's strategies and challenges on visibility and engagement. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of university-industry collaborations, it often results in benefits for both universities and industries. Often, such collaborations have impact on economic development. Universities are the bedrock for creating innovative products, however, face challenges in commercialization of such products. Meanwhile, industries may not have the time themselves to conduct research. Hence, it makes sense for universities and industries to combine technical skills, knowledge and resources to innovate and create IP assets which can be commercialized. Furthermore, companies vie for graduates who have the pulse on emerging technologies and markets. Indeed, companies will collaborate with universities to mentor students who are acquiring expertise long before they are their employees, as mentoring is a good opportunity to expose students to the industry culture. When these students graduate, they are better prepared and industry ready. UTB recognizes the mutual benefits to collaborate with industry and has incorporated strategic objectives for industry collaboration in its strategic plan 2019 to 2023. Indeed, the impact of such collaborations can be seen in the increased number of translational research projects with industries, high employment of our graduates. In 2019, 100% employment 1.5 years after graduation and accredited curriculum. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that this webinar is a platform where expert panels and speakers share their knowledge and best practices in various areas related to international relations and activities. UTB always strives to strengthen its research culture and produce true collaboration and partnership nationally and internationally. It is hoped that through these regular exchanges from various experts from member universities of ATU-Net, this human network will contribute to the consolidation for mutual cooperation. I think this multidisciplinary interaction where knowledge, best practices and experiences are being shared is a good way forward in encouraging collaboration. I hope this webinar will also bring impactful outcomes to the society globally. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in closing, I would like to express my deepest appreciation to Universiti Teknologi Malaysia and ATU-Net, whom have made it possible for the success of this webinar. I would also like to take this opportunity to offer my appreciation to members of the organizing committee for working so tirelessly towards the success of this event. To all participants, it's a great pleasure to have all of you here with us, and I sincerely hope you will enjoy the webinar and to establish strong networking and maintain strong ties with professionals, academicians, and attendees after the event. Thank you for your participation and have an enjoyable seminar. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Yang Mulia Professor VC. Ladies and gentlemen,
Brunei, a simple, happy country. Few places in the world can match Brunei for its peace and serenity. The whole town is decorated. Streets with arches and houses with flags and bunting.
Pada tahun 2008, ITB telah dinaik taraf menjadi Universiti Teknologi Brunei UTB, dan semenjak itu pembangunan luar biasa telah berlaku, termasuk pengembangan portfolio program akademiknya, penubuhan strategik perkongsian dengan pihak industri dan universiti serta lain-lain seumpama.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we now invite our keynote speaker for today, Ms. Jennifer Boon Yok Hyong, Director of Industry Liaison Office, UTB, to share her experiences on visibility and engagement from an industrial perspective. Ms. Jennifer is a senior lecturer in the School of Computing and Informatics with over 25 years of teaching experience. During her lecturing tenure, Jennifer had several non-substantive posts, which include Computer Manager, Dean Student Affairs, Chief Information Officer, and presently as Director of Industry Liaison Office. In her engagement with students, she has mentored students to achieve their best in ICT competitions, where UTB students have consistently won awards from both local and global arenas. As Director of Industry Liaison Office, Jennifer has successfully initiated several collaborations with the industry. This included the setting up of the STI laboratory with Sesame World Technology on campus, which secured research scholarship funding with approximately $250,000 and a 50% stake of potential IP generated. Jennifer's connection with industry has also created industry-based collaborations for faculty and student internships, local and global. Now the floor is yours, Ms. Jennifer.
Can you get the girls to share? Oops. All right, thank you. That's my slide coming up. Sorry for the technical hiccup. Okay, first, good afternoon. I would like to say thank you to the organizer, ATU-Net, and all collaborators, UTM, ITS, UMT, and UTB, for organizing and coordinating the International South Week 2021 Forum. I have listened to some of your presentations over the last few days, and it is definitely a privilege to learn from all of you and your experiences, your tribulations, and your successes. Thank you so much for sharing. Today, I will share some of our experiences in the university industry collaborations. Okay. I'm not so sure why my slide is not moving. Not a moment. Hopefully, okay. Thank you. Yeah, sorry about that again. So we come up to see, today we'll highlight our visibility through the university industry collaboration. I remember I approached Hajar Asma, who will be speaking after me. Really, what is visibility? And she says that it's how people see us and how we see people and how we see ourselves. So what does that really mean? I ask myself, visibility of our university regardless. Is it the use of technology? I do come from the information domain area. So is it the use of technology giving us a higher index of search terms relating to us so that we can actually see us, that we become very visible on the net? Or is it that the proliferation of our research work, that we put it out there, our students' activities, and we just put it out there and put as many as we can so people get to know us, etc. I was thinking, maybe, but at the end of the day, what I can see is that it is all that and more, okay? Because for impact, for people to see where we are making an impact, we have to strategize, okay? We need to concentrate efforts to ensure relevant information is planted appropriately and even at the relevant timing. This could mean that when we focus our student CSR activities and we want to showcase them, we actually want to showcase some of these activities that actually talk about our diversity and our student skill sets, displaying the skill sets. And I think that it would be so amazing if we have that type of visibility, showcasing our students' diversity and the skill set at the time when it's amplified, at the time when students are being recruited by companies for jobs and they are being recruited by talent scouts. That would be amazing. That would make like really high impact on visibility of our students, in my opinion. So today, I will highlight our visibility through the impacts of our various university industry collaborations. I can't move the slide. Okay, just it's a bit slow. So on this slide, it shows a lot of infographics, and I took it off the internet from venturewell.org. And what the purpose of this slide is that you could see that what happened is that the statistics of industry university collaboration is very compelling. From this slide, you can see, or from these infographics, you could see over $518 billion on the US GDP since 1996, the contribution because of this collaboration. Since 1995, universities in US formed over about 11,000 startups. Yeah, these are new companies. 879 new products, and for the past 20 years, over 80,000 patents were filed. And over 560,000 were allocated to 27 faculty grantees. So what we are saying here, what does this mean, is that when university and industry collaborate, good things happen. So that is amazing, very compelling statistics. So when I look into that, the benefits, there are actually benefits from both sides. The university benefit on the left side of my slide, it shows the university benefit, and the industry benefit on the right. So when for universities, additional funding will pour towards their research, which means that they can undertake more impactful research and also diversify their research areas. And universities are actually not as expert to get their ideas to market. They could create IPs, but it's not very good, not very much expertise as such to commercialize these ideas. And this is where the industry, with their expertise, help the universities. Students to employees, I mean, when we collaborate, our students have access to industry mentorship, and this is critical for the skills development. And this will make them more job ready when they graduate and they start to get work. So, I mean, they could hit the ground running, if you like, as some of the industry friends tell me. And they want more of those students. So, and also when we tuned and we see our students having this sort of skill sets, we find that there is an impact on them getting jobs as well. So that is a wonderful perspective of the industry. The benefits include high impact for startups from universities. That means there are more, from the infographics as we showed earlier, over 11,000 startups emerged from universities since 1995, and that is only in the US alone, right? Universities also provide the earliest look at which the next big idea comes from, which means that industry get a head start on competition. They get access to these early research ideas, and they see early signals of what's going to be the next big thing. And a lot of this is also with collaboration with universities, so giving them this head start. Talent. Companies are always hungry for talent. Always. My industry friend tells me that all the time, but searching for talent is also one of the issues they face. So for them, to access researchers and students via collaboration, giving them good opportunities or wonderful opportunities to expose our students to the industry culture while they are still students, make them better prepared to start working at these companies. And a lot of these companies, when they take our students on attachment and they groom them and mentor them, a lot of these students actually end up being employed as their first job in this very industry or in these very companies that mentor them, is what we're finding, all right? One of the things that industry also finds that when they collaborate with universities on research, they mitigate their research risk factor in their own company. So what this means is that companies de-risk their research by saving them money, even as they funnel funds to university to do their research. The international IUCRC, Industry University Cooperative Research Centers, calculated that for every dollar put into partnership is leveraged 40 times. That means that if a company put in $50,000 towards a partnership, they leverage $2 million additional dollars in research funding. Those are amazing statistics. So the engagement between faculty, between university and industry is also becoming very common because we see all these benefits, okay? However, one of the things we also find out that the benefits do not stop there. Although there are significant benefits for the university and for industry when they collaborate, the society also benefits from some of those impact of the product, the innovations that are created. Okay. So then, when we ask ourselves, what really is the role of university-industry collaboration? Well, it definitely results in economic development. New products are being created from research ideas, students' projects, and getting them to market. Entrepreneurs, we put students in the driving seats. They are now no longer just staff or employees. They are employers themselves. They do startups, etc. And in the innovation, we also find some issues with industry, and we are able to create new business models, and maybe a lot of times, make their processes more efficient, or even create a new way to do jobs. And these innovations have found their way into the economy and driving economy. And of course, trained workforce. Students hit the ground running. They are mentored, and the industry actually comes in and helps us review our curriculum, and when we review the curriculum, we put a lot of the industry feedback and tune our curriculum to ensure that some of these skill sets that they want to see in our students in some way is incorporated into the curriculum. And then when they graduate, they are already having these skill sets that are so wanted by our industry partners. Okay, so a lot of good things happen. Economic development is one. Innovation, when we find new products, there are major challenges in society, and universities plus industry combine technical skills, knowledge, and resources to innovate and address these issues and challenges, thus creating innovations in processing and also in the new products. What can I say? Good jobs. Last I checked UTB statistics, some of the students have already found jobs before they even graduate. That's how much of an impact where the students when they look for job. So, they are ready, In UTB, how do we make all these things happen? Well, this slide shows the guiding principle of how we establish our industry and university collaborations. Our guiding principle is really our strategic framework 2019 to 2023. And in this strategic framework, we have 4 strategic focus areas. 1 is quality education, 2, independent learners, 3, translational research, and 4, portable helix engagement. And they all evolve and surround our vision. We strive to be, or we see ourselves to be, a global university impacting society. So when we are having this principle of these 4 strategic focus areas, we of course develop very relevant KPIs in order to realize and to get initiatives for those collaborations. And I actually, before this conference, I took out our strategic focus and look at everybody's KPIs and see where all these KPIs are that are directly linked to our industry collaboration. And what I found out that there are 10 KPIs directly in strategic focus of quality education, 7 in independent learners, 8 in translational research, and 9 in portable helix engagement. And I was going, whoa, even I, Director of Industry Liaison, did not even realize that amount. Anyway, in total, this is 34 key performance indicators directly related to industry collaboration from our university side. And that actually makes it 44% of the KPIs with where direct initiatives can be created for collaborations with our industry in one way or another. What does this mean? I ask myself. It means we recognize the mutual benefits of university and industry collaborations. So I've been sitting in the driving seat, really. I'm seeing the benefits of that where I'm sitting. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about dwelling into what we meant by the KPI driving our collaborations. In quality education, okay, some of the activities are concentrated in ensuring industry collaboration in curriculum review. Our curriculum is developed in a major way every 3 years. That means every 3 years, we do a major revamp of our curriculum. That is mandatory. It's actually part of our policy. So a major development also means that the relevant stakeholders from the industry will be engaged to be able to review our curriculum and see how it affects them, impacts them, and giving them their take on how they want to see our graduates develop based on this curriculum. So believe me, the information, I have conducted a few of these curriculum reviews myself in industry. It is very vocal. Our industry partners definitely say, and it is also worked from our side and both sides, and eventually we come up with a curriculum that we are at peace with, and then we are very confident of developing the students with outcomes that the industry wants. Mind you, we don't only only 4 more minutes I have to increase, right? Okay, at the end of the day, other things that we get a lot of industry input is creating industry-based academy on our campus. At the end of the day, on the right side of me, you see the results of it. We have 10 programs from 3 faculties being accredited in the 2019 cohort as our VC set. Within 2 years, 100% of jobs of our students are placed. Industry attachment, 100% students are attached with more partners from the public sector rather than the government sector. This is an example in this slide of our students with a project that is have impact that they do while they are year 3 students that haven't graduated, and this is actually used in the industry. Independent learners, we actually want to make sure that students are adaptive and they can learn and they can have skills that they come out with. They can adapt to any environment wherever they are doing or wherever they're going and whatever they're doing. We see this by making sure that they take part in local competitors and also what we call that global competitions. Okay, the results is, since 2015, we have 3 entrepreneurs, students who are actually graduated and started a company straight away, and they're still on their feet standing. But what I want to highlight is the CSR project, where we allow the students to be groomed and get the skills that are wanted. The numbers are overwhelming. On projection, I have 1,730% of work projections. Students seem to do a lot of projections on that. Okay, translational research is those research, the numbers are pretty small, but 2018 and 2019, I see a major influx of funding that came directly from our industry partners. Humbly, our numbers are very small, however, it is growing, okay? It is growing. I won't go through this slide because I have people signaling to me that I'm running out of time. Just want to show you some of the research that we have that have impact on the society. Reddit is a road accident data enhancement and development project that we have a center that works with our road safety to ensure that our roads are being used in a safe and managed in a safe manner. Another translational research making impact on the society, cleaning up of our Kampung Air, our famous heritage Kampung Air, Brunei River. And this collaboration where we collaborate with international universities and the local industry, managing the health of bridges. Okay. Quadruple helix, meaning that can we integrate industry on campus? We see in 2 ways: integrated partnerships where we have industry-based academy that are incorporated in our curriculum and where we also service the public, and what we call Science Technology Innovation Lab. In Science Technology Innovation Lab, we bring the industry into the lab on campus where they can share their expertise in order to create and innovate together with our students and staff. At the moment, we are down to 3 because one of the labs has already finished its partnership. But essentially, we have got some products that are created out of such lab. Okay. The takeaway. What is the takeaway from my presentation and what makes university industry collaboration successful for our university? Of course, you must have a very good university strategic framework that has to be your guiding light. Number 2, executive support is a given. When you have a guiding framework and when you have initiatives that support it, executive support, higher management will always be there to ensure the resources can be funneled towards you, and also using the connection to get funding from the industry. One of the most important takeaway is the right staff. My colleagues a lot of them, if you just don't have the people with the right mindset and the right caliber, you definitely will be in a harder position to get the industry collaborations going. The passion of our staff, the will to find out new things, the will to innovate comes from my colleagues. I'm actually very humbled here working with some of them. Okay, engage across campus is something that I find in my work in UTB that sometimes our faculty don't realize the resources that they have at their disposal. Dean's insights, corporate engagement, corporate relations staff, tech transfer officers. These are some of the areas where we could engage with our industry people and also our academic staff to tell them that you have resources that you can tap into, even in this day of limited funding. Okay, last but not least, build trust. What is this trust I'm talking about? It's actually forming industry partnership is one thing. It's nurturing these partnerships for the long haul is another thing. Companies really want to build trust with faculty members. So to do that, we need to shift from transactional relationship with companies to strategic relationships, which require persistent and holistic engagement. Hence, have deep relationships with companies, not just the sponsored research at that one time. So these are my 5 takeaways. And I think I've reached the end of my 25 minutes. Again, thank you for your kindness in allowing us to share our experiences. And this is the end of my presentation. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jennifer, for the very stimulating presentation. Now we would like to open the floor for question and answer session for about 5 to 7 minutes. May we invite our guests and participants to address their questions by typing in the chat box or simply just raise your hands. Okay, maybe I can start with the first question. I would like to address to Ms. Jennifer. So Jennifer, you have been in the Industrial Liaison Office for quite some time. Can you please share with us your experience? What has been the main challenge in engaging the university with both local and international industries as well as stakeholders?
Yeah. I think I find it, the most important challenge is, like I said, that engagement across. A lot of the times, the understanding of what the office does is not as transparent or known to all the staff, be it local or global. So I find that I'm a talker. You have to be a talker. Literally, you just like make friends and knock into office and tell, hey, what are you doing, etc. It is for me, that's the main challenge, because the engagement across campus and the staff not realizing what they have at their disposal that they can communicate with and could use and tap into. So yeah, engaging, I think, and not being that transparent of what we are doing.
Okay, yeah, so it should work both ways, yeah?
Yes.
Two-ways communication, yeah. So, so far, do you have like a rough estimation in terms of percentages? How many have well worked out and how many have not?
Okay, I have that in my annual report. I think last I can say that every time we engage with someone, faculty members, a lot of the times it's ideas we talk about and it may not come to anything, but sometimes when I talk to a faculty member and they have an idea and I'm just like, oh, wait, I think I have the right industry partner to connect you with. I would say 15% of the total. So it's not that successful in that sense. 100%, maybe 7 or 6% of that has actually good impact on the projects when they undertake with the industry. So it can be as simple as when I talk to them and they said that I'm trying to make something lighter. And me, I say, oh, I know someone in the industry is doing that. So we connect them up. Like I said, not very big percentages, etc. We are growing though. We are hoping to improve upon that. Of 15%.
Yeah. Understandable. Any questions from the floor, please?
I have one question.
Please.
Masra from UiTM Malaysia. I just would like to ask about the scenario for during this post-COVID. What will be the best strategy in order to approach the industry? Because somehow I think all the industries currently also having problems. I think everyone is actually having problems. So
Yes.
do you have any kind of like ideas or kind of like approach that we may use in order to approach the industries, in order to collaborate with us? Thank you.
I actually found that challenging because I was managing student attachment right at the pandemic, and they were working halfway, and all of a sudden every company called me and said that everybody is working at home. What are we going to do with your 500 students who are attached? At that point, I asked them, what is your company doing with the staff they're working at home? So why not just treat our students as staff and let them work from home? And then we see the results and see what happens. Okay, to answer your question, a lot of phone networking, a lot of discussion, a lot of Zoom meetings. And in fact, meetings to me during the pandemic was more than the meetings I conducted before the pandemic. So the takeaway is we had a lot more meetings, but you need to network a lot more and talk with them, and you need to share with them a lot more of what you're doing. Maybe because their industry to industry relationship become a little bit less, so they had more time for us in university. So we capitalize on them by talking to them and networking with them and say, hey, what more can we do? So from my perspective, that was one of the things we did. I also managed to develop a platform, a paper for a platform with university on a strategy on how we can use the pandemic as one of the ways to do it. So this company actually runs conferences, and he gets a lot of students from overseas, and he couldn't do that. So we strategize together on how to make our university the platform where he reached the student with a sister company, with a sister university overseas. And we took some of the students in, I believe that one was Philippines. And then we had student conferences during the pandemic. Although this was run in collaboration with the industry, it was not run by the university. So a lot of these conferences take place. So we need to find out what they're doing and see as a university on what we can do. And that's really what I did in my tenure here as an industry.
Great, thank you.
Good question.
Thank you, Ms. Masria from UiTM. We have 1 minute if there's any more questions from the floor.
Good afternoon, Dino here, Malacca. It's great to see that UTB have a strong relationship with industry in Brunei. Here we in Malacca, we actually try to work out also with our industry here in Malacca. But somehow the most difficult part is actually how the things works between the industry and the university, especially the public university. Because the way we see it, we must have a strong backing from the top management, or even perhaps by the government themselves, in order for us to become like perhaps in Germany or France, where the relationship between the industry and university are very so close. So I wonder what would be, I mean, the next 5 years or 10 years, where are we going towards having such a good relationship? Because as you said, like 15% just now, I'm mistaken. So I don't think, if we really go into such collaboration, I think we need to do something about it.
Yeah. Yes, top management support is important. Like you must have a strategic framework that give a focus for industry collaboration within the university. That's a given, because without that strategic framework and the focus, your job becomes a little bit tougher. However, we are actually working on one or two different. The industry also have asked us, how do we get your students to be even more job ready than what they are doing now? So one of the ideas being panted around is, can we get your students even earlier than the attachment? And if it's so, they want to tune the table in such a way that students study full-time, but work part-time on a structured way. I'm not so sure how that is going to work yet. Maybe next year I can tell you a bit more about that, because that was actually one of the current problems thrown from an industry to us. And we have come up with a framework on how to manage that. So I think more collaborations relating also to research and to student attachment would have to be tuned that way. We have to be a bit more sensitive to how industry sees our student and what they want to do. It may be unfortunate that somehow maybe some of our curriculum has become a little bit more competency based, and some of my academic colleagues may not be in favor of that because they think that university should be more knowledge based in order to get new knowledge. But I think we have to strike a balance between knowledge based and as well as competency based, and see where we come from. So we have to maybe go back to square one, talk to the university and really understand what they meant by our students of competency, and maybe optimize some of that into the curriculum, or not just curriculum, into their CSR activities, things that they do naturally anyway in a social manner. So hoping to create that sort of students who are adaptable. The research and from my faculty colleagues, I would say translational research that you already focus on the problem that people are doing. When you approach companies and say that, that is a problem there, I think you have better chance. So maybe more and more focus on issues rather than intellectual. I know some of my colleagues will kind of take me out for that, but yeah, for industry collaboration, that would be what I'm seeing if you want more collaboration with them.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Jennifer. Thank you everyone for attending to our keynote speaker presentation. We have come to the end of the first half of our workshop. Now we'd like to conclude the keynote session by summarizing the contents of the talk. Yang Mulia Ms. Jennifer discussed that there are indeed mutual benefits for universities and industry, accumulating in projects that lead to economic development, as the graduates are equipped with skills that make them industry ready as they could be upon graduation. Graduates are also creating jobs rather than taking jobs as they become entrepreneurs. The presentation shares how UTB capitalize on the relationships with industry and solidify the collaborations through their strategic framework, with about 50% of the key performance indicators directly related to industry. UTB's best practices focus on aligning the industry collaborations to their 2019 to 2023 strategic framework, engaging the type of staff who are technically talented and passionate about their work, creating opportunities to engage with faculty across the campus on the resources they have at their disposal and the resources that can be created, thus nurturing trust with industry through activities that sustain long-term engagement with faculty members and the type of projects undertaken. And finally, the support on our activities from our VC and university leaders are a given. So this executive support is one of the main reasons in achieving some of the outcomes as outlined in the presentation, such as student employment rate, research projects with impact on the society, and creation of entrepreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organizers, we'd like to present an e-certificate to our keynote speaker, Ms. Jennifer Young, Director of Industry Liaison Office, Universiti Teknologi Brunei. Thank you very much. Next, may we invite everyone present to switch on your camera for a group photo. Our technical team, Khadija, will lead the photo taking.
Hello everyone, I'm Khadija. So I'd like to everyone switch on your webcams for a group photo and be sure to smile in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you everyone.
Frozen.
Thank you. We'll now break for 7 minutes for coffee. Please do some stretching, do possibly jumping jacks, loosen up your muscles, and you may sing along to this song on mute. Thank you.
E-coffee.